Hello everyone and welcome back to another Poppy Builds video. Yay! As promised, this is my Halloween little special and also the start of a brand new series on my channel in which I create houses and builds based on fantasy stories and or like movies and stuff like that. For example, I am planning on doing like an Ariel build and a Tiana build, and for Tiana I really plan on creating both her home with the prince and also her restaurant, so she'll have two builds. And then for Ariel, maybe I'll create like a water underworld and then a house for her and her family, that type of thing. But for today's story slash build, we are going to a little bit more of a creepy story, as this is the Halloween special I promised, in which initially I was going to keep it a surprise, and then I thought to myself, why? You're going to figure it out in like 2 seconds flat. Maybe not right now. You're like, this just looks like a normal cottage, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. Eep! So welcome to my October spooky scary build. This is the Hansel and Gretel story, and this is the witch's cottage. Unfortunately, in The Sims, there is no life-size candy that I could put on the outside, or like the cottage vibe I necessarily wanted, so I adapted as best as possible with what was given to me in The Sims. And I tried to create this really beautiful and luxurious build on the outside that was warm and welcoming, and then a relatively warm and welcoming inside, except for where the children, get trapped and then end up being cooked, as that is how the story goes. I assume, I've only ever read the like Hansel and Gretel more tamed version, but I have to assume like the Grimm's brother version, which is what I'm trying to like base this off of a little bit, is a lot more terrifying, and I assume that the witch does end up eating the children in like the Grimm version. Don't know if that's actually accurate, but we're just gonna pretend it is. So that is the vibe of this build, and I really hope you enjoy it, because I had so much fun creating this concept and just genuinely having such a good time trying to create like this perfect little magical, mystical story world, and I really hope you enjoy. So as we can see on this outside, I've really tried to emphasize a beautiful cottage with lots of chimneys and color. Again, Sims does not have life-size candy, and I didn't have the capacity to really understand how to do that mod-wise, so I decided just to stick with what The Sims had given me and build this exterior cottage. Now, initially on the exterior, as you can see, I was trying to add some really nice greenery on the outside, and eventually I didn't like what I did, so what I decided to do instead was add all of this really beautiful like moss vertical wall. I don't actually know what you would actually call it, but that's what I added to this whole entire house to really emphasize that it's a warm and welcoming place. Welcoming in quotations, by the way. And so I thought these like pink flowers really helped encapsulate the vibe I was trying to go for, and I just placed them in places that there were no windows. That's literally what just happened. And so I'm gonna skip forward a little bit because I don't think you need to see me cover the whole house, but that is the whole entire vibe behind these beautiful pink vertical wall floral designs. So welcome back. I have now finished the exterior floral wise, and I am moving on into the interior. Again, I really love how I've adapted this story to The Sims. I think the pink flowers really make it look warm and welcoming, and like a place that would attract kids. They'd be like, oh, someone friendly lives here, when in reality it's an evil witch. So for the interior, as you can tell, the top right on the screen right now, that's their little jail cell for the kids. The front is the little living room entryway. That's like meant to entice the kids when they peek in through the windows. And then we have the kitchen, and then in the back left I also have the giant cauldron. And the top, I update the wallpaper in a little bit, but I decided to modernize the top for the witch, because in my mind this witch is like meant to encapsulate a like old grandma. So her bottom floor is like very traditional grandparent design, if that makes sense, whereas the top is very modern because she is technically quite young for how old a witch is meant to be. So she looks old, but it's all just a facade, just like the whole entire house is meant to be. Another thing I'll show you later is that for the little prison section, yeah, the little prison for the children, I didn't put any windows that they could peek in through. So they have windows as to not make them, you know, super sad for being captured by a witch and about to be eaten. So don't worry about that. That's how the story goes if you've never read Hansel and Gretel. But the windows you can't peek through, but for all of the other windows, the blue ones, the children can see through and like see this really welcoming sight with loads and loads of chocolate and candy that were the ones I could find that were small sized for the build. So that's what I am doing for the living room. The whole purpose of the living room is to really attract the children, because obviously the story of Hansel and Gretel is they're hungry, they don't have enough food to eat. Their father is trying to do the best he can, but there's just not enough like food to go around. I'm pretty certain he's like a wood chopper, he's lost his job or something, or the work's not there. Anyway, the whole premise is they're very hungry, they crave sweets, they go on a breadcrumb trail, and that is all I remember. I have not read Hansel and Gretel for such a long time, but that's what I recall. And so I am now adding all of the sweets I could find in like the debug mode, which was predominantly cookies, ice cream, and soda pop. So that's what's here. The ice cream absolutely helped save this build for me. So although it's not really ideal, obviously the children can't eat the house. It's not edible as it is in Hansel and Gretel, the story. I think it works just as well with how this has been designed to be adapted to The Sims. And I just had so much fun building this, and this is such a cute Halloween build with such a sinister, like honestly a really sinister vibe behind it. Like this witch eats children. That's her Halloween treat, people. So here I found loads of soda pop from Eco Lifestyle. Again, entice the children. Maybe they're thirsty from walking for so long. And I had so much fun adding all of this soda. Again, the front of the living room, the whole entire purpose of it is to draw the kids in. I wanted there to be a lot of children's crafts to indicate children either live or have been in here. Like, the whole entire point of the bottom floor is to present a friendly front and make it look very loved and welcoming, whilst offering a lot of sweets. I'm pretty certain I've reiterated that like 12 times, but again, I had so much fun building this, and I'm just trying to give you like my thought process when designing it. Also, these popcorns are hilarious, and no, I don't regret putting them there. They're very cute. And then over here, I've added some toys for the kids to play with, which I think really work for the space. And this whole entire living room is very, very cozy and welcoming. It's the trap. It's where the witch lures in the children. I also think it would be like where they would peek in first, and then they'd maybe walk around to the kitchen and see more sweets. If only I had like peppermint candy canes. That's what I was thinking throughout all of this. Like, I wish I could have had some peppermint candy canes. to like put on the outside or something, because I didn't think that like I could bigger size an ice cream cone, but it just didn't really fit the whole vibe of it, so I had to let it be and switch the aesthetic. I also intentionally made this massive kitchen, as again, the whole point of the witch is to eat the kids, but she also has to lure them in first, and of course a massive kitchen for starving children is going to look very enticing because they know there's probably good food waiting for them in there. That's the vibe. That's what I was going for with this kitchen, and that's also like what I was going for with this very floral wallpaper. Quite misleading, quite welcoming, when in reality an evil witch lives here. If you can't tell, I had so much fun. This is just so fun. I also did do the color pink. I really emphasized that throughout the build, as pink is quite a friendly, welcoming, disarming color, when in reality, again, the person that lives here is anything but. So I think the pink really helped. Just a lot of warm tones on the bottom to just really make this seem like a space that was safe. But it wasn't. Bum bum bum. Also, to be frank, these ice cream swatches are hilarious and fantastic. I just love the swirls. I love, like, I'm not sure what the black one would be. Maybe licorice, but it was so fun seeing all of the ice cream swirls. So again, I tried to emphasize a bit more of the candy in here, but I did keep the kitchen a bit more simple compared to the living room in regards to confectionery. I also did add a few more childlike decorations. I'm not sure if these pieces are from like for children. I love them. I think they're so cute, but I wanted to intentionally add a few more like younger decorations, or when you place them with certain decorations they make them look younger. Anyway, the kitchen has some decorations in it, and then this is the witch's little brew spot, which is kind of rude that it's right next to the jail where the kids are kept, because oh my god, she could be cooking a child and then the child is smelling a child. Like, honestly, the more you think about Hansel and Gretel, like, the more traumatizing it is. I'm not crazy, don't, like, what? That's insane. Yeah, okay, so it's a pretty intense story. That has been acknowledged. So this is the children's / prison. I was gonna say room, it's just a prison. It can fit up to 4 kids, or as many as possible. There's only 4 beds in here. It's not meant to be welcoming, it's meant to just be functional. There is no shower or anything like that. There's a bathroom though. I did leave 1 toilet for the space. And again, it's just not meant to be happy. It's not meant to be a happy space. I did also add a few toys and stuff because I didn't want the children to, you know, die. Like, the witch wouldn't want the children to die before she could eat them, so they had to have some functional things in there. Anyway, that's a very depressing children's room. Moving on to the 2nd floor, this is the modernized witch's room. I still decided to keep a few of the pink elements, but I made it very luxurious and very, very rich on the 2nd floor. Who knows, she could be like Hannibal and be selling soup to people. Oh my god, I've just made that. I needed to take a moment because I traumatized myself just a little bit then, thinking about the witch selling, like, children's soup. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a story in Hannibal. Like, he makes the police eat the people. That's, like, a certain specific, very famous story of, like, ugh. And now I'm thinking about that in the Hansel and Gretel moment. Oh my gosh. Like, this is such a cute and welcoming house, and then once you think of Hansel and Gretel, it's very scary. So as you can tell, the top is very luxurious. I also added a few money bags just in case she needed to disappear very fast. But I also did want to make this house functional. If you wanted to download it and like transform the scary child's room into something more modern, or keep it and play it as the evil witch from Hansel and Gretel. Honestly, the whole point of Sims is to create anything that comes to your mind. This is pretty intense and I love it. It's just so much. Yeah, this is such an intense build and I really do love it. Now this is pretty much the whole entire interior. I'm going to start decorating the exterior now. I might skip forward a little bit as not to, because I'm going to put a lot of flowers in this to make it very welcoming, just like it did for the cottage. But it's so misleading. This is such a cute space when in reality it is anything but. I really enjoyed adding these trees because I wanted, again, it's very calming, welcoming, disarming color vibe. And a lot of these colors you don't associate with evil, like dark red, dark green, black, that's evil, pink, light purple, more innocence. And that's the whole entire point of this build, is to pretend there is innocence. And as you can see, I have just skipped forward very quickly and added all of the flowers that were necessary, as in I wanted them for the front, and it looks fantastic. Another specific thing I did on this terrain was to leave the exterior of the house, the direct exterior, exposed and away from any of the flowers so that the children could walk around the house and peer into it. That was very intentional, and so this little pebble path, we could pretend maybe it's, what's a candy or chocolate you can eat? I don't know. M&Ms. I can't think of a chocolate that looks like a stone right now, so that's definitely on me. Moving on, that's the whole entire premise. Let's go into and tour this Hansel and Gretel deceptively friendly build. Welcome. I'm going to start on the exterior just to show you the kids' perspective of what they would see little Hansel and little Gretel. So they would peek in and see this beautiful little home, so welcoming with all of those sweets. And of course, in my mind, you can't see it right now, but they'd walk up to the window and like peek over and see all of the ice creams kind of like this, and they'd be like, ooh, yummy. And then they'd see another kitchen and we'd be like, oh, that's cute too. Of course, at this point in time, they would be very hungry and not super observant. And we can pretend maybe all of these flowers are candy and edible, but it just looks so friendly. And as you can tell on this corner, there's no windows for them to peek into. I wonder why. And then they'd come over onto this side and they'd be like, ooh, oh my gosh, look at all of that soda and toys. And then the witch would be like, hello dearies, do you want to come inside? And then they would come inside to this pretend magical wonderland with loads and loads of candy and chocolate and ice cream for them to eat, and just a place that looks like kids absolutely love. And then here is the kitchen with more candy and chocolate. Ooh. Again, a very welcoming vibe. A special cookery kitchen. Wonder what's that for? Interesting. And then on the left we go through, we actually have the true scenario. Bum bum bum. This is the little jail for the children. Terribly depressing. Their little tiny bathroom. That was a very depressing statement. If you can't tell, I just had so much fun building this, and I really appreciate you watching and enjoying it with me and letting me talk about the cruel reality that really is Hansel and Gretel. And then this is the second modern, very elegant floor. This is for the witch only. And then this is her beautiful bathroom. And then on the outside, this is the back of the cottage, and that is the whole entire spooky, terrifying Hansel and Gretel build. Well, happy Halloween to all of you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you see, you can download this scarily, not scary, spooky, but actually spooky build on the gallery. And I will see all of y'all next time. Bye!